Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I am overjoyed to be presenting SB 793 today for a concurrence vote. It has been a long and emotional journey working on this policy. There have been many joyful victories, painful losses, and everything in between over the last 2 years to reach this moment. There have been many. What has kept me motivated and steadfast is the fact that this bill is all about protecting kids and protecting public health. The tobacco industry has a target audience. Over 90% of smokers start before the age of 18, and the average age of a new smoker, colleagues, is 13 years of age. There is a mountain of evidence demonstrating flavored tobacco products play a key role in initiating youth nicotine use. What stands out the most to me is the fact that 80% of youth who use tobacco in any form say they started with a flavored product. Tobacco is the deadliest consumer product on earth, and we allow this industry to hook kids with candy-flavored poison. Big Tobacco has launched a multi-million-dollar campaign to kill this bill so they can keep preying on our kids. You have probably seen the deceitful television ads and offensive mail pieces, all paid for by Altria and R.J. Reynolds, the two largest tobacco companies in the world. Let's address some of their deceitful and divisive claims. First, that SB 793 does not prohibit or criminalize tobacco use or possession in any way. The bill only restricts the sale of flavored tobacco products. Second, yes, this bill has exemptions, and I wish it did not, but it does. Many of you are aware that I have fought tooth and nail to advance the strongest possible flavored tobacco ban. It is a farce for Big Tobacco to rally against the bill now because of exemptions. Do not fall for their tricks. SB 793 is landmark public health policy and establishes strong flavored tobacco restrictions that will protect our kids. Lastly, Big Tobacco is trying to scare you into thinking this bill will result in cuts to programs for youth like First Five. First Five, Planned Parenthood, California Medical Association, American Heart Association, and countless other beneficiaries of tobacco tax revenue are urging you to support this bill. Here is what Big Tobacco is not telling you: that smoking costs California over $13 billion a year in health care costs, that 40,000 Californians die every year from smoking-related illnesses, that one of the main reasons we need tobacco tax revenue in the first place is because of the death and destruction that their products cause. SB 793 will save lives and billions in health care costs. Colleagues, for the last 2 years, you have heard me talk about the surges in youth nicotine use and the danger tobacco use poses to our kids. Whether it is menthol cigarettes, cotton candy vape juice, or banana smash cigars, these products only serve to numb the harshness of tobacco and make it easier for new users to get addicted to nicotine. The tobacco industry spends millions, if not billions, luring our kids. With SB 793, we have an opportunity to stand up and say no more, not our kids. I ask for your aye vote, colleagues.
Thank you, Senator Hill. Questions and comments from members. Senator Glazer.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I certainly rise to support this important piece of legislation. We are in a public health crisis, and this bill goes a long way to protecting our kids. But more importantly, I wanted to applaud the great leadership of the senator from the Peninsula. I know that he's coming to the final days of his legislative career, and I think this bill is a great example of taking on tough issues, tough fights, and not giving up and persevering. And I think this is a great topper to a great career, and I applaud you and your leadership. Pleased to be a joint author with you on this, and certainly urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Glazer. Senator Rubio. Bradford,
Mr. President and members of the Senate, I also rise today to thank my great friend and senator from San Mateo for being a champion in this space. I'm a proud co-author as well, and this is long overdue. So I want to commend my friend for his tenacity and not giving up. As he stated, he wishes it would have been a lot tougher, but This is a really important measure. As I can attest, myself as a teacher and my fellow teachers, we have witnessed our students smoking in halls, classrooms, libraries. It is time. It is time to take care of our students. And I would love to, once again, ask everyone for their aye vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Senator Bradford.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I rise just to express first to give congratulations to my seatmate for all his hard work and moving this issue forward. This issue started out as a flavored vape ban, which is not a single member of this legislative body would be opposed to that. But it has morphed into something else other than that. And I commend the author and what we're trying to do. It's not a single person in here who wants kids to smoke any type of product. But the truth and the reality is there's not a single kid on any high school campus with a pack of cigarettes in their pocket today. They all have sophisticated vape pens, and that's what this bill was all about. And so my only concern here is that it implies that if you smoke menthol, you're not smart enough to make a health decision on your own. But if you smoke a cigar, if you smoke a hookah, you're smart enough to make that decision. And I think that's insulting in and of itself. We should either ban all the products, but not selectively pick and choose winners and losers. We shouldn't insult the intelligence of people who might choose to smoke cigarettes. I'm adamantly opposed to smoking. My father died, it'll be 25 years in November from lung cancer. But he made the conscious decision on his own 14 years before he died to stop smoking cigarettes because he was smart enough to understand the health implications of if he continued to smoke. And that's all I would like to see here is that we trust those individuals to make those choices. I adamantly oppose smoking, just like I'm opposed to abortions. But I stand here strongly in support of a woman's right to choose, and I stand here strongly with the individual's right to make it their decision as to what they put in their body. But expressing those concerns, I still support this measure, but I wish cigarettes should be, hookah should be placed back in this ban, as well as cigars, because if you're a rich guy who can afford a $12 cigar, it's stating you're smart enough to make your own health decisions.
Thank you. Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I want to thank our great colleague from Silicon Valley. I know he has worked so very hard on this, and I'm just very proud personally to be able to co-sponsor and co-author this item with you. I don't just speak as a senator, but as a mom of 3 boys, 3 Latino boys that I raised in LA County, where 70% of their schools are preyed upon, where retail shops, vape shops, and tobacco shops, 70% of them in LA County are near a school. And so much of this industry has preyed upon not only my children, but our African-American children in LA County and up and down the state. And so I cannot commend you enough for putting this out and continuing to work towards a good solution. And I know there's a lot more work to do even after this, and we will continue to do that, but I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you. I would note that for people participating remotely, I do not see any hands up. So if you were planning to say something, just want to let you know that I'm not seeing anything right now. Senator Wiener.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also want to really, from the bottom of my heart, thank the senator from San Mateo for his persistence on this legislation. It's taken some time, but we're near the finish line, so thank you for your tenacity in moving this forward. This is about saving lives. These products are killing people, and they are being intentionally used to addict children and to lure children in, to addict them so that they buy these products for the rest of their lives with all of the health consequences and the death that occurs because of these products. These products have no value whatsoever. They have no value, but they have created for so many years in all of their iterations of cigarettes and vaping a public health crisis, and it's time that we take aggressive steps to attack that crisis. Would I like to see hookah and cigars included? Of course I would. I know the author would as well. But we all know how the legislative process works, and sometimes you don't get 100% of what you want. But this bill gets the lion's share of what we want, and it will save lives. And I want to close by just noting the despicable misinformation campaign that the tobacco industry inflicted on this legislature and our constituents by completely misrepresenting what this bill was about, spending I don't even know how much corporate tobacco money to try to trick people into thinking that this bill was somehow something other than a public health measure. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no other questions or comments? Just no other questions or comments. With that, Senator Hill, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to my colleagues for the wonderful comments and the support. And it would not have been possible to advance this bill without the help of so many. First, I would like to thank the advocates that poured their heart and soul into this effort. You supported this bill with such passion and enthusiasm, and thank you for all that you did. I must also thank our Lieutenant Governor, the Superintendent of Public Instruction, and Attorney General for their support and for being such champions for our kids. And next, I want to thank my colleagues in this House. You heard from some of them a few minutes ago. And to our pro tem for her strong leadership and guidance. To my colleagues that signed on as co-authors and joined me side by side. To my colleagues that voted to support this bill and those who did not. Thank you for your time, your conversation, and thoughtful consideration. And I also want to thank, if I could, our counterparts in the State Assembly. At a time when inter-house tensions are at the highest, the Assembly stepped up and made protecting kids a priority. To the Speaker, thank you for joining as a principal co-author and for always being such a strong advocate for California's youth. To my Assembly colleague from San Diego, thank you for your support and your words on the Assembly floor that frankly left me speechless. To all 44 Assembly members that signed on to this bill, thank you for making SB 793 truly a bicameral effort. I especially need to recognize and want to my Assembly colleagues from Healdsburg and Sacramento. You made this bill your own, and it was truly a joint effort. Thank you, colleagues. SB 793 would be a huge win for kids, for our communities, and for public health in California. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, colleagues. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Senator Hill. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Archuleta? Aye. Atkins? Aye. Bell? Aye. Bradford? Aye. Caballero? Aye. Dodd? Aye. Durazo? Aye. Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Gonzalez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Aye. Hurtado? Aye. Jackson? Aye. Leyva? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Nielsen? Aye. Pan?
Aye.
Aye. Portantino? Aye. Roth? Aye. Rubio? Aye. Skinner? Aye. Stern? Aye. Umberg? Aye. Wajkowski? Aye. Wiener? Aye. Bates?
Bates. SB 793, aye.
Bates, aye. Borges?
Borges, SB 793, not voting.
Chang?
Chang, SB 793, aye.
Chang, aye. Dally?
Dally, SB 793, aye.
Dally, aye. Grove?
Grove, SB 793, not voting.
Melendez?
Melendez, SB 793, not voting.
Morlock?
Morlock, SB 793, not voting.
Morell?
Morrell, SB 793, not voting.
Wilk.
Wilk, SB 793, aye.
Wilk, I.
Okay, the bill has 34 ayes, no noes. The bill is passed. Thank you. Thank you.